You're gonna lose that any minute now.
I know, right? Very. All right, look on, turn around. Come on, Terry. My son.
I'm on your way? No, that's okay. No, I came here because I thought I was in your way over there.
I think the best view is from here.
That's why I always moved here. I thought I was in your way.
But they're gonna walk back here.
Yeah. Tree, but
So questions are getting off or getting a series. Maybe you have chairs. So we're just gonna stay here. Thank God. You know they were talking about leaving. I'm like, I can't move. We could.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our national anthem and the opening fanfare.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good morning, and welcome to the investiture of Richard Helldobler, the 8th President of William Paterson University of New Jersey. I am Michael Sieve, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to William Paterson University as we celebrate this important and historic milestone in the life of this institution. Before I begin the introductions, I would like to call your attention to the musicians who opened our ceremony, to the drum line that led the procession across campus, featuring students Joseph Butts, Jonathan Davey, Anthony Salombini, and Danielle Williams on the direction of Professor Peyton McDonald, Professor Christopher Herbert, who sang our national anthem, and to our William Paterson University Brass Ensemble under the direction of Professor Thomas Bourgeau, who performed the opening fanfare on the William Paterson rhythm, composed by Professor Emeritus Donato Fornodo. We are indeed fortunate to have such talented faculty and student musicians at the university. I would now like to introduce the members of the platform party. On the platform to my right, Mr. Fred Gruhl, immediate past chairperson of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Sharon Haas, President Emeritus of Northeastern Illinois University, and Dr. Arnold Speart, President Emeritus of William Paterson University. To my left, Dr. Jacqueline Taylor, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, retired from the College of New Jersey. Dr. Michelle Baer, Chancellor, University of Minnesota Morris. Dr. Charles Middleton, Professor Emeritus, Roosevelt University, and Dr. Richard Helldobler. On the stage to my right are Ms. Lourdes Cortez, Trustee, Mr. Robert Garassi, Trustee, Dr. Henry Pruitt, Trustee Emeritus, Mr. Dylan Johnson, Student Trustee, Dr. Stephen Rose, President of Passaic County Community College, Dr. Arlene Scala, Chairperson of the Faculty Senate, Mr. Cody Geddes, President of the Student Government Association, Mr. Dominic DeMeo, President of the Alumni Association, Dr. Vincent Perillo, Class of 1962, Mace Bearer, Dr. Jean Levitan, University Mace Bearer, Dr. Philip Chiafari, University Gonophalin Bearer, Dr. Joseph Felsen, Co-Chair of the Academic Affairs Council, Dr. Christopher Herbert, Professor of Music. On the left are members of the President's Cabinet, Dr. Sandra DeYoung, Interim Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Mr. Steve Boyer, Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance, Dr. Mickey Camerata, Vice President for Student Development, Dr. Reginald Ross, Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dr. Shelley Bannister, Senior Advisor to the President for Strategic Initiatives, Dr. Robert Seal, Chief of Staff to the President and Board of Trustees, Ms. Pamela Ferguson, Vice President for Institutional Advancement, Mr. Glenn Jones, University General Counsel, Ms. Allison Boucher-Jarvis, Vice President for Human Relations, Mr. Stuart Goldstein, Vice President for Marketing and Public Relations, Mr. Pat DeDeo, Associate Vice President for Government and External Relations, and college banner carriers and representatives, Dr. David Fuentes, Dr. Maria Villar, Dr. Emmanuel Anavi, Dr. Angie Yu, Dr. Solomon Nagaya, and Mr. Bill Duffy. Seated on the stage are members of the university's senior administrative team, including the deans and associate deans of the academic colleges and the Cheng Library, associate provosts and associate vice presidents from the divisions of academic affairs, student development, and administration and finance, and representatives of the Council of Academic Chairs and the Directors Council. Behind them are special guests of the university, the presidents and delegates from our fellow institutions in New Jersey and from Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Illinois, West Virginia, New York, and Ohio. According to tradition, the delegation of presidents is led by the president who represents the earliest founded institution. Today, the New Jersey delegation is led by Mr. Theodore Stevens, representing Princeton University, founded in 1746, and the larger delegation is led by Dr. Sharon McDade, representing Harvard University, founded in 1636. In the upper rows of the platform are representatives from two groups that give us great pride every day: our current student body and our alumni. They represent the best of who we are and what we do. I also want to give a special welcome to the elected officials who have joined us today. Seated in the audience, they are Mr. Kevin Rooney, New Jersey Assemblyman representing the Legislative District, the 40th, and Mr. Thomas Giblin, New Jersey Assemblyman representing Legislative District 34. And lastly, our faculty and staff. They are the core of this institution, daily challenging our students and each other to new ways of thinking and new levels of intellectual pursuit. We continue to marvel at their dedication and commitment to excellence as they teach, inspire, support, and prepare our students for the world that awaits them. We have many good friends here today. We are delighted that they and you have joined us. To everyone gathered here, welcome. This ceremony is one of the most important and festive traditions of the Academy, and I think you will certainly agree it is one of the most colorful. The ceremony began with the academic procession across campus, led by three of our senior-most faculty, and included representatives from our student government, alumni association, current and emeritus faculty, visiting presidents, senior administrators, and finally, the Board of Trustees. This tradition links us to our ancient heritage as a place of higher learning, where the quest for knowledge and truth is passed from teacher to student, from generation to generation. This institution traces its roots back to our founding as the Paterson City Normal School in 1855. Chartered to provide training for teachers in the city's free public school system. Travel forward 163 years, and William Paterson has evolved into a comprehensive university that counts over 67,000 living alumni. Currently, we enroll more than 10,000 students in over 250 academic programs in 5 colleges, including 2 doctoral degree programs. Our faculty are acclaimed scholars, researchers, authors, artists, musicians, and teachers. Our students learn in an environment that values and promotes diversity, including classmates from 33 states and 38 foreign countries. We are in an institution that is proud of its rich heritage and equally excited about our prospects for the future. And today's ceremony represents our formal step into the future with the investiture of our 8th president, Richard Helldobler. Our search for a new president began when Kathleen Waldron, the 7th president of William Paterson, announced her intention to retire after 8 years in the presidency. We are indeed fortunate to have had such capable and steady leadership at this university, including 25 years under the guidance of Arnold Speart and 8 years with Kathleen Waldron. Please join with me in thanking Arnie and Kathy for the extraordinary leadership they have provided to this institution. And now we look to the leadership of our next president to guide William Paterson with new ideas, new visions, and new goals. A very special tradition of the Academy is to invite members of the extended William Paterson University and community to offer words of greeting to Dr. Helldobler and to the Assembly. Please welcome Dr. Stephen Rose, President of Passaic County Community College, who will offer greetings on behalf of the community of college and university presidents.
Good morning. You know, sometimes you hear the term Jersey style to describe the way we do things in this great garden state. You could say that our higher education institutions are kind of organized Jersey style. Last week I was in a meeting where we spent about a half hour trying to figure out, are there 55 or 56 colleges in New Jersey? That's Jersey style. But nonetheless, they do an outstanding job serving the residents of New Jersey, but we just do it somewhat uniquely. This is an absolutely great state to be a college president. We welcome Dr. Helldobler to be part of this august group. I had the honor of working with your two predecessors, and not only did they do a superb job leading this university, but they were absolutely leaders in the higher education community. On behalf of all the college and university presidents in New Jersey, we look forward to watching you bring William Paterson University to new heights, but also serving in leadership roles to benefit the entire state. We offer congratulations and welcome.
Thank you. Please welcome Dr. Arlene Scala, Chairperson of the University's Faculty Senate, who will offer greetings on behalf of the university's learned scholars, or faculty.
Thank you. Members of the Board of Trustees, President Helldobler, administrators, faculty and staff, students, and other guests, welcome to the investiture of the 8th President of William Paterson University, Dr. Richard Helldobler. I am honored to say a few words as Chair of the Faculty Senate. I first met President Helldobler last December when he interviewed with the President's Search Committee. His forthrightness and sincerity were immediately evident. When he was invited to come to William Paterson as one of the 4 finalists for the position, he impressed the community with both his knowledge of William Paterson University and the perceptions of the university by other university presidents. He had clearly done his homework. President Helldobler has officially been at William Paterson University for 3 months and 5 days. He has met with numerous individuals, colleges, units, and other groups on campus. His Thursday open office hour and monthly social meetings with faculty and staff all speak to his management style. At his bi-monthly meetings with the Senate Executive Committee and Provost, his collaborative approach to leadership has been evident. He clearly wants to hear what students, faculty, staff, and administrators have to say about the university. William Paterson, as mentioned a bit earlier, founded in 1855 as the Paterson City Normal School, has a long history of commitment to social justice. This is evident in the institutionally supported groups such as the Social Justice Project, ongoing work with the City of Paterson, the American Democracy Project, the Gandhian Program for Peace and Justice, the Women's Center, and more. It is evident in our curriculum, which requires that all students take at least one diversity and justice course. Our student body, faculty, staff, and administrators are diverse at this Hispanic-serving institution. President Helldobler has already exhibited his embrace of diversity and social justice by supporting the aforementioned groups, a unionized campus, student organizations, and more. William Paterson University is a great place to study, to teach, and to work in many capacities. When I talk with colleagues about our new president, people have expressed hopefulness that as our president, Dr. Helldobler will lead this university in a way that will make us well-known as a great institution of higher learning, as a gem in northern New Jersey. And he's committed to making our strengths brightly shine to others. I sense a growing positive attitude in the community. President Helldobler has already exhibited some of his innovative ideas. As a community, we welcome his leadership and commitment to enhancing the pride we do and should feel about William Paterson University. In conclusion, on this beautiful October day, as we celebrate Dr. Helldobler's investiture, the Faculty Senate Executive Board, on behalf of faculty and staff, wish Dr. Helldobler a very successful tenure at William Paterson University.
Thanks for wearing the earrings.
Thank you, Arlene. Please welcome Mr. Cody Geddes, class of 2019 and president of the Student Government Association, to greet President Helldobler on behalf of the student body.
I was honored to speak at President Helldobler's Investiture today. As a Student Government Association president, it is part of my duties to advocate for what is best for the student body. I can truly say that President Helldobler is exactly what William Paterson University needs. Having been one of the first students to meet President Helldobler, I could see how excited he was to work with students in a generalized sense, but also work in one-on-one efforts. With initiatives such as Pizza with the President and open office hours, he has welcomed many students from diverse backgrounds to come and speak to him about not only what they love about William Paterson University, but about their concerns. President Helldobler has already announced the creation of a multicultural center, which was a push from student leaders who felt that there was a need for this center on campus. I can truly say that President Helldobler will continue to show support for the needs of what the students want at William Paterson University. I am very humbled to be able to welcome him to William Paterson University. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Finally, please welcome Mr. Dominic DeMeo, class of 1997 and president of the university's Alumni Association, who will offer greetings on behalf of our esteemed alumni.
Good morning. As a representative of our Alumni Executive Council and Foundation Board, of our more than 78,000 alumni, I am honored to offer a Jersey-style congratulations to Dr. Richard Helldobler on his investiture as the 8th president of William Paterson University. The achievement of higher education is a transformative experience. Our exposure to new ideas, new people, and differing points of views changes the way we see society and the role we play in it. President Helldobler, in the short time that you have been on campus, we have seen your contagious enthusiasm for stewarding future generations of pioneers through this life-changing university experience. I know I speak for our association and foundation when I pledge the support of the alumni body to assist you in any way possible towards the achievements of all your goals. President Helldobler, we look forward to your leadership and to the significant impact you will have on the William Paterson University in the years to come. Welcome to our William Paterson University family, and as we like to say, once a pioneer, always a pioneer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom. I offer greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees, of which I am honored to serve as chair, to Rich and Robbie and his family, friends, and colleagues. The board eagerly looks forward to working side by side with Dr. Helldobler, sharing a collective vision for William Paterson University. We look to him to lead this institution forward, to use the skills and talents that led him to us, and that led us to appoint him to this critically important role. You have our support and best wishes, Dr. Helldobler. We are fortunate to have you as our president. I would like to introduce Dr. Jacqueline Taylor, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, retired at the College of New Jersey, who is a friend of Dr. Helldobler's and a fellow, AC Fellow, who will offer remarks. Dr. Taylor.
Good morning. I am thrilled to be with you today to celebrate the investiture of my dear friend, Dr. Rich Helldobler, as the 8th president of William Paterson University. As many of you have already begun to see, William Paterson made a great choice when it selected Dr. Helldobler to lead this institution at this important moment in its history. Rich and I met in 2005 when we were American Council on Education Fellows together, and soon after he came gliding up to me at our opening seminar, we became fast friends. We shared a keen interest in higher education, leadership, in education's crucial public mission, the welfare and success of students, the importance of access and inclusion. We found ourselves intrigued by the formidable challenges facing colleges and universities. We also bonded around our love of the arts, with a particular emphasis on theater, our communication backgrounds, music. Rich made me a mixtape for my road trips between my placement in Ohio and my home in Chicago, travel, shopping. He became the unofficial shopping consultant for the fellows class. Dogs, hospitality. We were the only two fully out LGBT folks in our class of nearly 40, though there were several other not out fellows, which helped to cement the bond. Over the years, we have spoken nearly every week, attended conferences together, travel together, and socialize together. Today, I want to share with you a little of what I have learned about the real Dr. Rich Helldobler. First, Dr. Helldobler is genuinely thrilled to be your 8th president. In the Fellows program, they regularly told us that it is all about the fit. And the fit between Rich and William Paterson is extraordinary. Rich grew up in Toledo as the youngest of 4 children. His parents did not have the chance to attend college, and he was the only one of 2 siblings to attend college and the only one to earn a bachelor's. Rich is a first-generation college student who knows personally the power of public education to change lives and expand opportunities. He has spent his entire career in increasingly responsible leadership positions at state institutions, always in settings where faculty and staff are unionized, and always in institutions where growing access and placing student success at the heart of the endeavor have been core values. Rich loves students. He maintains collegial relationships with dozens of students from over the years to whom he has taught dance or theater. It is not at all unusual for him to tell me that one of his former students is in a show on Broadway and that he intends to see on his next trip to New York. Those trips to New York will now be a little easier than they were from Chicago. Watch him when he interacts with students on your campus, and you will quickly see how genuine his appreciation of young people really is. Dr. Helldobler is drawn to the tough or thorny challenge. He actually enjoys puzzling his way through dilemmas that many of us would find daunting. Although he comes on strong, at times as if he already has the answer, he is a great listener, and when confronted with good arguments, he is persuadable. He goes for the win-win, not the rich win. His undergirding value is always the welfare of the institution and the students, not the welfare of Dr. Helldobler. Rich is a great friend and a wonderful connector. He is in touch with dear friends from every period of his life, and it tells you something about him that those friends are so deeply loyal. He views conversation not as an opportunity to tell you about himself. He really wants to know how you are, and he remembers what you tell him and asks about it later. He also has a genius for connecting people. He always seeks to enlarge the circle and to help those in his network find others they will enjoy. Rich loves the arts. His devotion to the arts shapes his approach to leadership. He sees the role of the president through the lens of his experience as a director. Directors understand that theater is an ensemble art comprised of a group of talented and dedicated individuals who join together to create the magic that is theater. Directors don't mandate. Instead, based on a deep understanding of the text and genuine insights into the capabilities of the actors and crew with whom they work, they call forth a performance based on collaboration. Yet, as exemplified by his bachelor's degree in business, Rich has a strongly practical and strategic side, one that ensures that any production not only has magic when the curtain comes up, but a balanced budget when all the expenses and receipts are counted. Rich worked his way through college by dancing professionally and teaching classical ballet. I am confident that an ability to balance on your toes under a spotlight while wearing a costume is a tremendous asset for a university president. He might be just a little bit competitive. He does like to win. He danced all through high school, but when he saw that varsity athletes were the coin of the realm, he signed up for the tennis team. His footwork was no doubt helpful there. He has pointed out to me that although his brother played almost every sport and is a more accomplished athlete, Rich got his varsity letter as a freshman and his brother as a sophomore. I am certain that he is already putting that competitive streak in the service of William Paterson. Dr. Helldobler has a great sense of humor. He never takes himself too seriously, and as a friend, he is always quick to help me see when I might be doing so. He loves to laugh. He is quick to see the irony or the absurdities in the tough moments life is always serving up. Rich is a formidable worker. His mother must have told him that idle hands are the devil's workshop. He is indefatigable, highly organized, and never much inclined to sit still. If he finds himself with time on his hands, he invites friends over and whips up a delicious dinner. I hope my remarks have provided a little more detail to what you already know. Dr. Helldobler is uniquely equipped to lead William Paterson at this particular moment in history, and he will bring his whole self, his creative, smart, strategic, hospitable, lively and life-loving, forthright, collegial, justice-seeking self to this job. Congratulations, William Paterson, on your brilliant choice, and congratulations, my dear friend, Dr. Richard J. Helldobler.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Please welcome to the podium Dr. Michelle Baer, Chancellor at the University of Minnesota Morris, another friend of Dr. Helldobler's, and ACE Fellow who will offer remarks. Dr. Baer.
Good morning. Imagine a blisteringly hot summer day in Washington, D.C. Having walked quite a distance and now divested of shoes, two academics who have just that day met sit at the World War II memorial, their toes blissing out in the cool water. It is 2005. They sit, feet submerged, and talk and talk and talk. Their toes turn to prunes. This was my introduction to Rich Helldobler. Our meeting was fortuitous, as our paths probably would not otherwise have crossed. He was a sitting dean from the urban Midwest with a background in the arts, and I was a social scientist and department chair from rural New Mexico. But we connected over our shared passion for and commitment to the kinds of public higher education we represented, to the kinds of campuses that William Paterson University is. Institutions that have evolved over time to serve important functions as economic foci, intellectual hubs, and sources of cultural offerings to the regions in which they are located. Universities with campuses that are small enough to offer personal attention to students, but large enough to make a difference. They proffer a variety of undergraduate and graduate degrees, provide dual enrollment opportunities for local high school students, and offer continuing education opportunities for all of the residents of the region. Campuses that play a central role in our nation's higher educational system by providing opportunities for those who might not otherwise be able to take advantage of them in areas that might not otherwise be so served, and that lift the region up as a result. Our conversations have continued to this day, as has our commitment to the worth and consequence of public higher education. And of course, we have had many, many other conversations about a myriad of topics, both professional and personal, and with dry toes. Rich and I have worked together on a variety of projects as co-authors, co-planners, and co-conspirators. There is no one I would rather work with. He is thoughtful, engaged, and a true collaborator. In a world where egos and ambition often get in the way, Rich is a generous and true partner who seeks always and only the most outstanding outcome. Take, for example, our roles as co-chairs for the 50th anniversary celebration of the American Council on Education Fellows Program, which, by the way, was the program that brought us together on that sweltering day in 2005. Rich's was the vision behind bringing together a weekend's worth of programming that engaged alumni who attended from around the world and who represented all 5 decades of the program. A success by every measure, the celebration even resulted in unusually successful annual giving. Rich's theater background ensured that the weekend was well-paced and well-scripted. His concern for the narrative arc did not obviate his attention to even the smallest detail. His work over a period of 2 years was both tireless and creative. It was a Herculean effort, and as always, he carried it out with grace and aplomb. Rich is the first person I call when I need to talk through an issue, a problem, a conundrum. He listens carefully. He asks good and probing questions. He is smart and perceptive, and his advice is always sound. This is also why he is sought after as a thought leader in many higher educational arenas. He understands higher education, its culture, its societal role. He knows how to navigate through difficult situations, and he is generous in sharing his insights and wisdom with others. That is why I go to him first. I know he is always willing to listen and to help. That is also why he is in demand as a mentor. Rich is committed to paying forward the positive experiences he has had with mentors of his own. He knows from personal experience that education can and does transform lives, particularly for students from disadvantaged backgrounds or those who are first-generation college attendees. Even though I think that I may be his #1 fangirl, I consider it my duty to point out that Rich is not perfect. He is 100% a Midwestern meat and potatoes kind of guy. This is a major shortcoming in my eyes. So I'm hopeful that perhaps you all can convince him to widen his culinary palate. Or maybe not. Nevertheless, I cannot think of a person who will work harder and smarter for William Paterson University than Rich Helldobler, who is more committed to the mission of WPU, who understands and is better equipped to meet the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities ahead for William Paterson, who will work together with everyone on campus to ensure that this institution lives its values each and every day, who is more generous of spirit and who will be more willing to share his knowledge, expertise, and experience in service of William Paterson University. You are so, so fortunate to have my good friend and colleague, Rich Helldobler, as your 8th president, and I give him my deepest congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Baer. And now please welcome to the podium Dr. Chuck Middleton, President Emeritus of Roosevelt University, Dr. Helldobler's mentor and friend, who will offer remarks.
Young man, you're right. You have to raise this up. Okay. Before I get to my prepared remarks, I want to show you something. This is a prop up here to inspire the speakers, okay? It's amazing. It says WP, willpower. How cool is that? Willpower. I love that. I saw that on a bus this morning, too. I'll take that. Oh, any day. Okay. To begin now my prepared remarks, good morning. I've already said that. Especially to the distinguished members of the Platform Party, all of the rest of you invited guests, and most especially to President Helldobler, sitting here behind me, as you know, and to Mr. Brown, who is sitting there, I think. Hello, Robbie. I see you out there kind of in the darkness here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you today to celebrate this happy moment in the history of William Paterson University. Over the decades, I have been to many presidential installations, mostly sitting out there or back there with other delegates. While to the casual observer, they may all appear to be more or less slight variations on a common theme, if you go to as many as I have attended, you come to learn and anticipate how each is entirely novel, unique both to the personality of the institution and to the person of the incoming president. William Paterson University casts a long and distinguished shadow over the history of this part of New Jersey, the region generally, and indeed well beyond even into Southern California, as I learned this morning from one of your colleagues, where I live. President Helldobler is fortunate to have been asked to lengthen that shadow of success and to lead this institution as it engages the compelling issues of our times. I congratulate him, of course, but I also congratulate the William Paterson community for having the wisdom to choose him to join you in this ongoing enterprise which you all rightly value so much. Now, I first met Rich. You're going to think that Rich didn't know anybody before 2005. I first met Rich Helldobler when he was an American Council on Education Fellow in 2005 and 2006, and I was an advisor and counsel to several of those fellows that year and since. I suppose our paths could have crossed earlier as he is a graduate of Bowling Green State University in Northwest Ohio, where I served as provost and vice president for academic affairs in the late 1990s. But it would have had to have been at an alumni event, as he had already decamped on his journey to this place today by the time I arrived on campus. I did, however, come to know his professors, and I can attest that they are splendid artists and teachers, imparting to all their students, including Rich, a passion for the combination of professional excellence in their artistic and research work and high standards in their own teaching. Rich learned these lessons well. You can easily see them in his teaching and elsewhere in his career. I also know something else that is germane here. It is that academics and perhaps others are shaped in great part by their disciplines. Much of the marvelous variety, in fact, of campus life derives from this simple but not always noted truism. In fact, it was only when I became Dean of a College of Arts and Sciences that I began to understand that the 36 departments in my college all had different cultures and that no two were alike. Historians were distinct from political scientists, poets from painters, physicists from chemists, and even chemists from the chemical engineers over on the College of Engineering on the other side of the campus. And thus, in 2005, since it was apparent to me immediately that he had the requisite temperament to become a university president, I applied this lesson to finding out what makes Rich Helldobler tick, or at least what it is that shapes in part how dancers approach issues and what sorts of skills Rich was likely to bring to bear on his leadership. Or put another way, why does it matter here that he is at his core a professional dancer? I don't know if you know many professional dancers are in your life, but those of us who do observe several key attributes that they all share, be they in a classical ballet corps like Rich, or in a modern dance company, or hoofing it on Broadway. Over the years since we first met, here are some observations that I have applied to your president about dancers and how he demonstrates the very best of that discipline. Rich is optimistic and he's dedicated to the passionate work about his students, starting with the well-being of students, but radiating quickly thereout from them to the professional success of his colleagues on the faculty and in the administration. He is conscientious, meticulous, and confident, all characteristics that higher education leaders must have if they are to deal successfully with the multifaceted challenges facing their institutions in the 21st century. Rich is flexible but focused, patient, and fearless. You will find over the years that he prefers lasting results that endure over quick fixes that too often create unanticipated consequences that are soon enough obsolete. And finally, the characteristic that I and many others cherish most in Rich is self-awareness. Dancers every day must assess their bodies, their minds, and their emotional and mental status. Some days are good and some days bad. Staying humble is important for dancers because it helps remind them that they can always do better. And that knowledge that you can always do better makes you humble by temperament. Come to think of it, all of us, but perhaps especially university presidents, would do well to emulate that in our daily lives. And so now you know why I applaud your good fortune at William Paterson for selecting Rich Helldobler to be your 8th president. I'll be watching to see what you accomplish together, and I believe you will do great things. You can count on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, Michelle, and Chuck, for sharing those terrific comments with us today. It is now time for the formal investiture of Richard Helldobler as president of William Paterson University. I invite my fellow board member, Fred Gruhl, to the podium, and Rich to join me to my right.
Good day. The investiture involves the ceremonial bestowal of 3 symbols of the presidency: the President's academic gown and hood, the President's medal, and the University mace. Each of these items symbolize the President's authority. I invite Arnold Spirit, Sharon Haas to come forward, please. All academic regalia have their roots in the first universities in Europe in the 12th century, when the ordinary dress of the scholar was the dress of the cleric. The costume bestowed honor, but it also served the functional purpose of keeping medieval scholars warm in unheated buildings. Presidential regalia are unique among academic vestments in that they symbolize the president's rank and authority as the chief official of the institution, rather than reflecting an individual's academic credentials. There are 4 velvet bars known as chevrons on the sleeves of presidential regalia. Standard doctoral robes feature 3. University presidents wear the distinctive regalia when participating in official university ceremonies and convocations. The regalia are also worn when representing the institution in official academic occasions at other universities. The academic robe incorporates the university's colors of orange and black and is designed especially for members of the Board of Trustees, of which Dr. Helldobler is a member, and for the University Marshal. The tam is made of black velvet with a gold bullion tassel. The hood is traditional doctoral length, banded in velvet, accented with white trim. The colors inside the hood are traditionally from the institution granting the degree. For the presidential hood, the colors are William Paterson's black and orange. Dr. Helldobler will be hooded by President Emeritus Spear and President Emerita Haas. I now invite Dylan Johnson, student trustee, to come forward. The President's Medal is worn by the President at all academic ceremonies. The President may award this medal to individuals who have made outstanding contributions of service to the university community, to the academy, or to the society as a whole. The medal features the university's seal, our founding date of 1855, and the motto, Commitment to Excellence. It is given to the President today in recognition of his election to the office and of his service to William Paterson University. Dylan? The mace symbolizes the President's authority to administer the university. The top piece features a center ball symbolizing universal knowledge, surrounded by 4 curved fins radiating outward, representing the university's community outreach. At academic ceremonies, the President designates a faculty member, usually one of the longest serving at the university, to carry it on his behalf. Michael?
I ask that the audience please stand. Richard Helldobler, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I invest you as the 8th President of William Paterson University of New Jersey with all rights and privileges granted thereunto. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. So thank you, everyone. So as someone who has a doctorate in theater, I always wanted to say this and have it mean something. I'd like to thank the Academy. Please be seated. In all seriousness, I am in awe of the Academy and all that we in higher education accomplish together in the dedication to improving the world. I'm honored to be your president, and I thank you for your trust in me. I thank the members of the Board of Trustees of William Paterson University for their support and service to this wonderful institution and for their helpful advice and guidance. Wise women and men, as devoted to our students as those of us who live and learn at William Paterson every day. I thank the Alumni Executive Council and the Foundation trustees for their presence and support today. These individuals give so generously of their time and resources. To the faculty, staff, and students who since July have emailed me, sent flowers, cookies, sweatshirts, books, tons of advice, and good wishes, I thank you. I know you care deeply about the academic life of this institution, and I too would like to recognize our elected officials who are here today. A special thank you to Dr. Robert Steele, my able Chief of Staff, and members of the Investiture Committee, and a special shout out to Amanda Oleski, Rachel Rodriguez, and Joanne Murad. Your thoughtful attention to both the symbolism and the details of the investiture events demonstrates your commitment to William Paterson and her students. I also want to recognize my predecessor, President Emerita Kathleen Waldron. For 8 years, Kathy presided over and transformed this institution. Regrettably, Kathy is out of the country, but I know she is here in spirit. I'm grateful to her for being so generous during the transition process. I also would like to recognize President Emeritus Arnie Spirit, who served for president for 25 years. Arnie, your presence here brings a sense of history that is so important to universities on days like today. So thank you so much for being here. A special thank you to President Emerita Sharon Haas, who taught me so much of what it means to be a president, resolute with grace, during both difficult and joyous times. She also told me that on the days that your Board of Trustees are meeting, you can eat as many cookies as you like. Sharon, thank you for being here. In the arts, because the work is so public, taking a chance on unproven talent is risky. Thank you to Marie Vogt and Paul Cosman for taking a chance on me and seeing something in me I didn't see in myself. And to Igor, our collaboration made me a better artist. And to the committee, as we are known at the American Council on Education, Jackie Taylor and Michelle Bear, our weekly talks have always provided both perspective, sanity, and just a few laughs. Your friendship continues to mean so much. Perhaps most important is I had the good fortune to meet the kindest person I know, Robbie Brown. Robbie has selflessly gone on this journey with me and always reminds me to be my better self. And on the more challenging days, he looks at me and says, "Slap on the happy, you're going to have a great day." I would especially like to recognize and thank all of my family members who are here today. You mean the world to me. I'm grateful that my sisters and brother and in-laws are here along with nieces and nephews. Especially touching for me was that my niece, Dr. Callie Helldobler, was part of the academic procession today. I thank my teachers, mentors, friends, colleagues from my ballet world, my theater world, my higher education world, former students, and the royal court. This truly is a this is your life moment. And many of you have traveled so far and wide to share in this special day, and I thank you. However, I am certainly missing my mom and dad today, perhaps my dad the most. Many of you have heard me talk about my dad, an immigrant from Germany who did not graduate high school. While he still would not have agreed that the doctorate in theater was a good idea, this would have been a big day for him. He's with me today. I'm wearing his cufflinks. And that's all I'm going to say about that before it becomes even more unpresidential. When I started exploring the possibility of becoming a university president in 2005, I applied to be an American Council on Education Fellow. ACE Fellows spend time over the course of a year being shadowed and closely mentored by university presidents and other senior leaders. On the day of my interview, the then director of the ACE program pulled me in and stated, as an openly gay male, while not impossible, it will be very difficult for you to become a university president. Most boards of trustees will not hire you. There's currently only one in the country. His name is Chuck Middleton at Roosevelt University. Yes, the Chuck you just heard from. I immediately thought, well, if he can do it, so can I. I need to go and meet this Chuck Middleton. A couple of hours with Chuck, and I'll be good to go. 13 years later, here I am, an overnight sensation, as they say in the theater. So as I was saying, I had applied to be a fellow at Roosevelt with Chuck, and I got a no. Not because he didn't want to. He's a strong supporter of the program. But despite common belief, presidents don't always get to do what they want to do. Other factors come into play. But those of you who know me know that if I get a no that I think should be a yes, I'm going to get to yes. It may not be the yes that I had intended on, but I'm going to get there. And through one of the vice presidents who was a former fellow, I got myself invited to campus for a week. I soon learned in that week that Chuck was a nonstop president. We went from usually 6 to 6:30 in the morning until about 10 o'clock at night. And about 4 days in, I'm standing on Michigan Avenue. The snow is swirling around me in Chicago. I'm clutching my coffee thinking there is not enough caffeine in the world to get me through this day. And Chuck pulled up in his usual cheery way. He said, "Good morning." And I replied, with a schedule like this, good is not the word that I would use. And why would anybody want to be a university president? He then, in his exceptional way, led me through the joys of what it means to be a university president. It was clear to me from that week I had found a close mentor. Chuck didn't know it yet, but I did. After that week, I tried to get 30 minutes with Chuck every time I was in Chicago or I knew that we were going to be at a professional meeting together. And every time he said yes. And our sessions got longer as my questions got better or the issues that I was facing on campus became more complex. While Chuck was the first openly gay president, he was unwilling to settle for just one. Over the next few years, he, along with a few other gay and lesbian presidents, formed the Association for LGBTQA Presidents. Through his work, in 2005, there was only one openly gay president. Now there are 98 members of the association who identify as gay lesbian presidents in the country. So I often tell students that of all the people that I've talked to, no one has ever said that a smartphone, a computer, or a PX90 has changed their lives. It's always a person, a mentor, a professor, staff member, or experience. Chuck certainly was one of those people for me, and for many LGBTQA presidents who followed through that closet door that he opened. So Chuck, as a token of my appreciation, Robbie and I have endowed the Charles L. Middleton Scholarship for Higher Education Leadership here at William Paterson University. Thank you so much. And to my president colleagues in the room, we need to talk more about the joys of these jobs. Challenging, yes, but they are amazing in so many ways. The next generation of leaders is, trust me, watching and listening. Let us be mindful of the challenges, but more open about the joys. Stephen Sondheim's lyric says, "Careful the things you say, children will listen." And while not children, if we are messaging more about the challenges than the joys of those we mentor, we must own part of the shrinking pipeline of potential university leadership. I hope that we all reflect on the people and places that have made a difference in our lives, who have given time, resources, or dollars, as we continue to create a culture of giving at William Paterson University. With declining support nationwide for public higher education, we must seek to provide monetary bridges through scholarship support to continue to provide access and opportunity, especially for the population of students that we serve here at William Paterson. To that end, I look forward to working with the Foundation Board, the Board of Trustees, and the Alumni Board to close our $10 million scholarship campaign very soon. Today, I want us to reflect on the important role that places like William Paterson have in reshaping the social fabric of the region, and I would argue the country. As a country, we are experiencing greater gaps in income inequality, increasing social injustice issues. We face greater racial, ethnic, and gender disparities in parts of the academy, as well as leadership in local, state, regional, and national governments, not to mention policymaking institutions. Institutions of higher education have a particular role in overcoming these injustices and disparities. Michelle Obama said, "Public education is our greatest pathway to opportunity in America." We at William Paterson agree, of course. We see this evidence every day, but especially on commencement day. Meanwhile, we hear stories that the Ivy League schools are going to admit a more diverse pool of students from the lower socioeconomic quartile. And we've been hearing this for years, by the way. But let's face it, even if the Ivies agreed that 50% of their incoming classes would be from the socioeconomic demographic we serve, the number of students that they would admit collectively would still be fewer than William Paterson and other publics admit every year. So despite the bold pronouncements, who really is changing the social fabric of the country? As we provide a pathway to opportunity, it is our responsibility as a public institution of higher education to increase our commitment to the civic engagement of our faculty, staff, and students. We have to discover and develop new ways that we can apply the intellectual power of the faculty to assist the region in its economic redevelopment and revitalization. It is no longer acceptable to claim that we are an economic driver in the region just by the number of people that we employ or the students that we bring to the community. It is time to be a university without walls, moving more fully into the communities to help revitalize them and drive the economy in New Jersey. And we have the resources to do this. We have our brilliant and inspirational faculty, our dedicated and committed staff to partner with community leaders to lead these efforts. And we have students' robust intellectual curiosity coupled with their life experiences that inform new and existing projects in their home communities. You see, we are proud that we have attracted such a broad representation from our surrounding communities. Yes, I am talking about our diversity. Personally, I love the word and respect what it means. But as I said in my opening day speech, we must do more than just note our diversity. We must continue to develop ways to learn with and from one another. Many students have commented to me that they sought out William Paterson because they understood from their high school years the importance of learning with a broad array of people from different backgrounds and experiences. We know that building a cohesive social network and finding ways forward require a deep understanding of one another and ourselves. Our students were so smart to figure that out so early. I have spoken to alumni of all ages, from all eras, as well as current students. And I've heard many similar and wonderful stories, and many of them start with something like, William Paterson University changed my life. These stories reflect the impact that this community has had on our students historically. Through the years, demographics, academic programs, technology, and teaching techniques have changed. And yet our mission has remained remarkably consistent. Think back to the university's founding in 1855 as a normal school that prepared professionals to teach children to read, write, and think, and to provide those students with a previously unavailable public education. A university that in preparing new teachers opened the professional world to women. This university has been changing and transforming lives its entire history. Today, we are a comprehensive university with extensive program offerings that have an important impact on lives and the economy. We prepare diverse students for high-demand jobs at an affordable cost. And as we band together as a community, we can strengthen the legacy of William Paterson University by educating the next generation of leaders in New Jersey, the region, and the nation. And as we look around, we must recognize the need to add more of our graduates' faces to the leadership table. As you know, I have been engaged in getting to know the university through a listening tour that has provided me with insights into the community and the value of what we do here. One of my questions is often, who are we as a university? I have heard various answers. Responses usually start describing student success stories, and we all have them. One faculty member added, I don't know who we are, but I know that we are necessary. And folks, she is right. We are necessary. Our job is to assist in the transformation of their lives. To be as effective as we can be, we need to have the courage to transform ourselves, to become the leading regional university in the state of New Jersey through our intentional attention to every student. The public value of William Paterson University is that we do, in fact, change the social fabric of the region. We know that education is a way up and out for many of our students. And I say to you, there is no better work. We should all be proud to be part of an institution with such a rich history of success, and I am so excited to be part of an institution with such great promise for the future. Oscar Wilde famously quipped, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." So let us let Harvard be Harvard. Let us let Stockton be Stockton. And let us let Montclair be Montclair. All have a purpose, but so do we. And it is quite amazing. William Paterson University is changing the social fabric of the region. As we graduate more first-generation and underrepresented students and move them into advanced study and meaningful careers, we add more depth, color, and dimension to the rich social fabric of our region. And the more successful we are, the more colorful and multidimensional that fabric will be. And the more the connective thread of that fabric will be orange and black. That is the will power of William Paterson University. So in closing, when life gives us moments that are so overwhelming as academics, we at times return to our discipline to find ways of understanding or expressing feelings. And no, I am not going to do an interpretive dance. But today, as I am installed as your new president, I feel confident in all of us to accomplish the important work ahead. And yet I struggle to find the right words to express the gravity of the moment along with my great joy. So I'm going to leave you with a quote from the musical Hamilton. There are moments where the words don't reach, and there is a grace too powerful to name. Thank you, William Paterson. I am so honored.
Thank you, Dr. Helldobler. That was well said. Another ritual of academic ceremonies is the singing of the alma mater. We invite and ask everyone to continue to stand as the alma mater is sung by the University Chamber Singers under direction of Professor Lauren Fowler Callisto. The alma mater is printed on the inside cover of the program.
You
The investiture ceremony will now come to a close. President Helldobler will lead the stage party out of the hall. I ask the audience to remain in their seats until the stage party and faculty have recessed. Deep and profound thanks for joining with us today.